We're hopping straight back into Sinnoh today with Pokemon Pearl, and I'm eager to see how we can improve upon our performance from the last leg. It's almost poetic that we opened Gen 4 with 4 total losses, but I think we can do better than that. I'm going to be on berry timing today as we rush straight into it. Keep up or I'm finding you 1 billion Pokédollars. Our starter this time is Chimchar, named Son once we visit Professor Rowan. Where are my Dragon Ball sub-enjoyers at? With Pokeballs quickly in hand, we get started with our early game encounters. Once again, our Route 201 encounter is a Bidoof, this time named Doof. We catch Quill the Starly at Lake Verity, Static the Shinx on Route 202, and train up before moving on. We speed through our little list of things to do in Jubilife, remembering the old route this time. Next, we head to Route 204, catching Tempo the Kricketot. No Bidoof means we'll have to rely on Son for our upcoming battle with Rourke. Before that though, we have to battle Barry II on Route 203. Son takes Starly out with little difficulty. After using Taunt and Leer on Piplup, Son switches places with Static, who is taken out by a crit pound. Seriously? Is that crit guaranteed? Son returns to the field to end the battle, and we fish up and catch another Magikarp, destined for the PC. Our current ban list means we have no more encounters on the table until after we earn our first badge and move on, so the team spends their time powering up in preparation for it. Son evolves into Monferno, Quill evolves into Staravia, and Tempo evolves into Kricketune, primed and ready to challenge Rourke. Son taunts Geodude out of using Stealth Rock to start, then hits 2 Mach Punch to take it out. I repeat the process on Onix, with some additional punches required. Cranidos lands a pursuit on Son as I pivot into Quill, hoping to reduce Cranidos' attack as much as possible. Once it's been sufficiently debuffed, Son is able to come back out and end the battle with more Mach Punches. Back in Jubilife again, Don and I get our starters to quickly knock Team Galactic out. Once they leave, we progress to Floaroma Town, with Doof evolving into Bibarel along the way. Team Galactic's presence at the Valley Windworks presents us more opportunities to bully the Space Freaks. Before battling the Grunt stationed at the door though, we catch Bowie the Weasel. Son quickly punches Glameow and the door is locked, so we head to the meadow, retrieving the key. Once inside the facility, Quill paves the way to Commander Mars. Son defeats Zubat to start, and Quill takes over once Perugly is sent out, debuffing it a ton before trading blows and just barely coming out on top. Route 205 is where we catch Shelly the Shellos, and the team builds their strength up as we approach Eterna Forest. We find and catch Vivi the Misdreavus here, and then escort Cheryl through the forest, reaching Eterna City. I take this opportunity to head underground. There's a lot to do here, but I'm here for one thing only: the armor fossil. Once we're able to return to Orberg, we have another addition lined up. Until then, we let Son light the Grass-type Eterna Gym ablaze. The trainers are taken out effortlessly, and the grind for the rest starts right after. We catch Zenyatta the Metatite on Route 211 and racket the Chingling in Mount Coronet as the team reaches the cap. Son then takes the lead to battle Gardenia. Flame Wheel OHKOs all 3 of her Pokemon for another flawless win, almost as if the grass type is terrible. With Badge 2 in hand, we enter Team Galactic's Eterna HQ and wreck some grunts on our way up to Commander Jupiter. Our strategy for battle is identical to what we used against Mars. Son takes out Zubat and Quill takes over to debuff Skuntank and trade attacks, this time netting the KO with more HP to spare. We ride our newly acquired bike back down to Orberg and head to the museum, resurrecting Bastion the Shieldon from the armor fossil. This addition provides the team some solid physical bulk, though he won't get the chance to flex that in our next 2 gym battles. Cutting through Mount Coronet leads to our introduction to Cyrus again, and we get another battle with Barry II underway as we explore Hearthome City. Bowie just misses out on a Starly KO before Roselia takes its place. Son pivots in and takes Roselia out, then defeats Prinplup, Starly, and Ponyta for the win. He is truly living up to his namesake with these recent performances. The next stretch leading up to Veilstone City provides ample sources of XP for the team. We catch Regret the Unknown in the Salacion Ruins, Bowie evolves into Floatzel, and we kill our Route 215 encounter before we enter the game corner and hit up the slots. Vivi takes the lead as we battle Veilstone's gym trainers, rocking his recently taught Psychic attack. I then train only Son and Quill to the cap, with Vivi close behind to challenge Maylene. Vivi leads and takes Metatite and Machoke out before the Ace Lucario is sent out. Quill debuffs with Intimidate on the switch-in, but falls to a combo of Force Palm and a crit Metal Claw. Son takes over and Flamethrower finishes the Jackal off. So far, both deaths have taken place closely to each other. Does this mean Cynthia takes 2 more to wrap the leg up? Doof temporarily rejoins the team until we find a more suitable 6th member. We could use her utility in HM slavery anyway. A quick team up with Dawn to battle Team Galactic again, and the trek to Pastoria City nets the team good XP. Once the gym trainers are taken down, we immediately challenge Wake. Vivi's Thunderbolt is an OHKO on Gyarados and Floatzel, and Son takes Quagsire out with Grass Knot for the win. Pretty insane to hard switch into a fire type in that scenario, but I knew what I was doing. It's the AI that does stuff at random. Barry II interrupts our Galactic Grunt chase afterwards with a battle. Bastion sets up Stealth Rock and then takes Starly out with Ancient Power. Vivi KOs Prinplup and Roselia, and Bastion returns to the field to KO Ponyta. We then give chase to the Grunt from before, culminating in a battle we easily win. Cynthia gives us a secret potion again, and we use it to clear the side-up blockade, picking up the Ultron for Granny. Bastion evolves into Bastiodon on the way there, cranking its defense up even more. The Grunt threatening to blow Celestic Town to Kingdom Come is scorched by Son's Flamethrower before we meet Cyrus, hunker down, and grind. Son evolves into Infernape, and once the team is ready, we challenge Fantina. Bui uses Ice Beam to take Drifblim out, landing a crit no less. Crunch on Mismagius just misses out on an OHKO, so we take big damage from Magical Leaf before finishing it off. Gengar isn't so lucky and goes down to one more crunch, securing our 5th badge. Before heading straight into Canalave City, we take the time to find and catch Duchess the Glameow on Route 218. I don't know why, but the Glameow line is hardly available throughout the series, and feels like a great final member for the team. Time for another rival battle. Bastion sets up Stealth Rock and eventually KOs Staravia with a crit Ancient Power. Vivi OHKOs Heracross and handily takes out Prinplup, Roselia, and Ponyta, proving to our rival that we've got badge 6 in the bag. Son makes short work of the Canalave gym trainers and we get straight into battle with Byron. Flamethrower OHKOs Bronzor, and Grass Knot plus Close Combat takes Bastiodon out. One more Flamethrower to melt Steelix and the battle is over. Rowan debriefs us on our lake visits, and the library is rattled again by Team Galactic's explosion. I don't even get distracted by Iron Island this time, and head straight to Lake Valor. I told you. Berry timing. The gang jumps Team Galactic's grunts as we race to the cavern and battle Commander Saturn. Son's Flamethrower OHKOs Kadabra, 2-hit KOs Toxicroak, and OHKOs Bronzor, freeing us up to head to Lake Verity next. Except, I don't head to Lake Verity next. I decide to make the long and winding trek through Mount Coronet, into a blizzard on Route 217, and head to Snow Point City. The team gains tons of XP, and Son is so powerful that I like the idea of grabbing Badge 7 now, then cleaning up Team Galactic in one fell swoop. I don't even bother training anyone to the cap before challenging Candace. Despite this lack of preparation, Son's Flamethrower takes out Snover, Abomasnow, Sneasel, and Medicham in one hit each. The shared XP leads to Duchess evolving into Purugly, and we receive Badge number 7, way earlier than we should have. I let Duchess stretch her legs once we head to Lake Verity, taking the grunts out and getting into a battle with Mars. Fake Out, Return, and U-Turn take Golbat out to start, and Son takes care of Bronzor and Purugly. We then go straight to Lake Acuity, see that Barry II is lost, and make a beeline for Veilstone City. One Duskstone later, and Vivi evolves into Mismagius. The army of grunts inside HQ power the team up ahead of our battle with Cyrus. Bastion sets up Stealth Rock, then slowly chips away at Murkrow with Toxic and Flash Cannon. Bastion then plays a game of attrition with Golbat and Sneasel thanks to its overwhelming physical bulk, leading to a slow but steady victory. In order to free the Lake Guardians, we get into another battle with Saturn. Duchess takes Kadabra out to start, and Son pivots in to defeat Toxicroak and Bronzor before we release the Pokémon. The team then blitzes past every grunt we encounter as we climb Mount Coronet. We take out the grunts at the entrance of the Spear Pillar and then turn around. All of my rushing has left the team woefully underleveled, so we train hard before confronting Mars and Jupiter together with Barry. Duchess, probably the wrong lead in this case, gets started by flinching one of the Bronzor. She then hits U-turn, pivoting into Bui, who proceeds to surf all over everyone, just like Poseidon did last time. Bui isn't resilient enough to stay in and sweep the commanders this way, so Son takes over, defeating the commanders without killing any of Barry's Pokémon. I mean, some of his Mons go down, but I wasn't responsible for it this time. Thanks to the power of the Lake Guardians, Palkia is prevented from doing Cyrus's bidding, and we get into a battle with the Galactic leader. Duchess takes Honchkrow out with minimal effort, and Son switches in to take Weavile out. Vivi ignores Giga Impact and defeats Gyarados with Thunderbolt, and manages to take Crobat out too. I was fully prepared to see Vivi fall. That crit cross poison did so much damage despite being resisted. Thankfully, the random AI chose a move that ensured we'd live. With Team Galactic's ambitions foiled, we catch our space deity and move on to Sunny Shore City. The team takes the gym trainers on and spends an age training to the cap before we get into battle with Volkner. Duchess gets things started, taking Raichu out and getting paralyzed in exchange. Ambipom sets up Nasty Plot as Son comes in and promptly takes it out, and Vivi defeats Octillery. Tempo finally gets some action and sets up Parasong, stalling and then handing things over to Bastion as the timer runs out and Luxray is defeated. Victory Road is quickly traversed again and we square off with Barry II one last time. Vivi Oko Staraptor and 2-hit KOs Empoleon to start. Vivi is also able to take Roserade out, but Son joins in to defeat Heracross and Snorlax. Bowie defeats Rapidash for the win, and the team grinds up, ready to challenge the Elite Four. Son is a no-brainer to get the final gauntlet started against Aaron. Flamethrower is powerful enough to mow down Dustox and Beautifly, takes 2 to defeat Drapion, and then one-shots the remainder of his team for an easy victory. Bowie is then the answer for Bertha. Surf is an eventual KO on Quagsire, and then is an OHKO on Sudowoodo, Hippowdon, and Golem. Whiscash manages to hang on, but its efforts are for naught as it goes down anyway. Bowie is the frontrunner again as we challenge Flint. Surf takes Rapidash, Infernape, Lopunny, and Steelix out with minimal damage in exchange, and 2 Ice Beams take Drifblim down. Bowie is on the warpath. Things are looking good as we challenge Lucian. Vivi fails to KO Mr. Mime, and Girafarig subs in, negating Shadow Ball. I send Duchess in to contend with Girafarig, using Attract to prevent it from hitting us, then using Return and U-turn to both KO and get Vivi back in safely. Vivi is able to use Shadow Ball now to take out Mr. Mime and Alakazam, and do big damage to Bronzong before sending Son in. Son nearly goes down to Psychic, but Flamethrower finishes it off. Tempo returns to the stage to sing his Parasong, and I start to jump between my healthy team members while the timer drops to 0, ending the battle. I literally just said things were looking good. Why'd this battle have to be so harrowing? Still, the entire team is up and ready to take Cynthia on. Bastion sets up rocks and starts to chip away at Spiritomb. Cynthia switches to Gastrodon before Spiritomb goes down, so I send Duchess in. Fake Out and Return are enough to knock Gastrodon out, and U-turn gets Son to take Duchess's place against Lucario. Son survives Aura Sphere, then answers with Flamethrower for the KO. Milotic is sent out next, and against my better judgment, I stay in. Somehow, Son doesn't take any damage and manages to get the KO. I have never been more grateful for random move selection. Cynthia's Ace Garchomp is sent out next, and I decide to try the Parasong strat again. We do manage to start the timer, but Garchomp takes Tempo out and is swapped with Roserade before the timer runs out. Bowie's Ice Beam eventually takes Roserade down, and Garchomp follows suit, ending the leg with 1 fewer death than last time. I am really happy with the performance of everyone on the team. Infernape in particular is an absolute beast, definitely the strongest of the starters to take on this adventure. On the flip side, Kricketune isn't that great. He evolves early and offers a really strong attack set at that point in the adventure, but the fall-off is intense. The rest of the squad gave me more than enough to work with, resulting in a ban that won't hinder me in the future. And speaking of, the Chimchar, Kricketot, Buizel, Misdreavus, Shieldon, and Glameow lines have all joined the massive ban list. We have one more adventure in Sinnoh ahead of us this gen as we enter the distorted world of Pokémon Platinum. Next time.